I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that.
It wears on you, you know. 20 plus years in the game, and I hear the same thing, and I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face.
I'm tired, boss.
I'm just tired. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What is good, YouTube family? It's your boy Rashad with the Black Anomaly Rising Channel. So, we got to talk about Taraji P. Henson today. I'm sure a lot of y'all remember how she started out, where we all know her from originally.
I can't stand your black ass. You act like a little boy instead of a grown-ass man. I hate you. I love you.
So, now, much time has passed. She is basically, essentially having like a meltdown, having an emotional breakdown, talking about how she's struggling in Hollywood, basically being a woman and pay disparity and, you know, boo-hoo, my life is so difficult, even though I keep getting hired over and over again for top acting roles, but I'm not getting paid enough money for the roles because I set my expenses up to where I have to keep working perpetually, right? This is kind of the classic living beyond your means type of story, because Taraji P. Henson by no means should be a person who is necessarily struggling, as she implied. I mean, we don't even have any indication whether or not that's even true. I mean, some people have kind of gone out and did their own videos kind of talking about this in greater detail. But, I mean, for me, I'm not going to do like this big detailed research into Taraji P. Henson's life, because no matter what level of research I do, it would be from a place of ignorance, not knowing everything about her finances and the intricacies and so forth. So instead, I'm going to just give my critique and my overall thoughts. Let's go ahead and react to this video.
And I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to just say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired.
So I gotta ask real quick, and yes, I will be interrupting this clip as we go, okay? So what does that mean necessarily? Like, what does it mean? Like, let me go ahead and let me replay what she said again.
Of the cost.
A fraction of the cost.
I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah, so that's my question. Like, what does that mean? Like, for example, what like tip top movie has Taraji been in recently? I mean, she's been like the lead in a lot of movies, but as far as I recall, like none of these are like huge blockbusters. You know, so I can't really see her getting paid like this massive amount, you know, and especially in today's day and age, considering like we're talking about woke Hollywood. I ain't gonna cap. I find it hard to believe that there's any type of like, if a pay disparity exists, I find it hard to believe that there's like a major pay disparity, considering like who she is. Like, for example, I feel like Gabrielle Union, who supported her after this statement, by the way. Gabrielle Union, I feel like, is absolutely going to get paid more than Taraji P. Henson, even though Taraji, I would rather see anything with Taraji in it than Gabrielle Union. But Hollywood likes Gabrielle Union more. And even Gabrielle Union's not in a lot of like top blockbuster films. You know, she's just probably considered more valuable overall in Hollywood compared to the likes of Taraji. You know, I mean, it just is what it is.
You know, you have a team. Big bills come with what we do. They have to get paid. So when you hear someone saying, oh, such and such made $10 million, no, that's not, that didn't make it to their account. Off the top, Uncle Sam is getting 50%.
That's right.
Okay? So do the math. Your team is getting 30% or whatever your team is off of what you grossed.
Sometimes
not
more.
after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. Here's
the thing about that sort of stuff. I mean, all of these major taxes. So Taraji P. Henson's a black woman we know the statistics behind black voting, right? Black voting is normally heavily Democrat. And who do the Democrats always demonize when it comes to voting? Let's be real here. They usually are like, hey, we're going to make millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share, whatever that means, right? So they're basically, if you're a Hollywood actor or actress, you're picking on yourself. You're putting yourself in a corner where they're going to just tax you more and more and more, which a lot of people don't know, which you should, because it's basic math, that the people who make the most money automatically pay more in taxes in terms of dollar amount. Automatically, even if they were to pay 1%, a lot of the time that's going to be more than the average collective, right? For the average person, the collective of, you can take 100,000 people and have them pay their taxes for a year, or even 1 million people, versus Taraji paying her taxes one time for that year is going to be way more, even if it was 1%, right? So they already are paying more in terms of dollar amount. Now, when it comes to percentages, there's all kinds of different ways that corporations and people such as actors, like all of these different things that they have, every single thing that they do gets taxed. And then employees that she's talking about that get paid, they get taxed too. So they're getting like all kinds of extra money from people like Taraji, and she supports stuff like that, right? Now, her and a lot of people, it's not just about Taraji, it's about people similar support a lot of things that lead to heavier, greater taxes. I mean, literally, Joe Biden always talks about higher taxes. So does Kamala Harris. So it's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot.
I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. It wears on you, you know? Because what does that mean? What is that telling me?
And what does it tell me? Yeah.
You know? And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, don't apologize.
So I'm going to cut it right there, and I'm going to get into a couple things before I close out here, okay? So here's the thing about how feminism went and how it really screwed over the black female, really black community in general, but definitely black females, in my opinion, are going to end up suffering some of the most because of it. But I also think the whole black community suffers from this, because even though women's rights ended up having, I would say, a net positive in terms of, you know, women's rights and the ability to get mortgages and, you know, kind of more so fend for themselves, the drawback to that, and yes, there is an unfortunate drawback, is more people in the workforce and therefore less pay. It's not just about Taraji and however she manages her finances, but if we're talking about the average woman entering the workforce, now you got all of the men competing, all of the women competing amongst each other, and they're all competing amongst themselves in general. So everybody's in competition with each other, right? So, and that's the same thing Taraji has got to deal with, is a bunch of women that are got more clout, younger, you know, on the come up. It's got to compete with the men, like, you know, it's got to compete with everybody, right? So she's got to deal with that. That's one way to look at it. Also, the way that our current culture, in terms of people in entertainment and even politicians and stuff, and all these different companies that are woke as hell, keep kind of pushing this message of, hey, you don't need family. Just go and fend for yourself. Like, don't worry about husbands. That's so 1990s. It's 2023. You can just do everything yourself. But look where that got Taraji. She doesn't seem too happy to me. Husbandless, fighting, alone. Where a lot of people are going to end up, if you let yourself get too mentally indoctrinated into the current culture of women, in particular, again, black women, is like, in my opinion, are most strongly impacted by this, because that's what the statistics show, where, hey, I'm strong and independent, I don't need no man, blah, 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 and you want to be having you stick your chest out, like during all of these other times, but then when it comes down to moments like this, now you sit up here crying on the TV, crying in the interview talking about you fighting and you tired and all of this. That's what having a partner is for. That's the whole point. You don't gotta fight alone. Of course, you could be strong and independent as you want, but you don't have to fight. Nobody's making you do that. You know, you could work with somebody and try to have a partnership where you're helping them, they're helping you. But in my opinion, I mean, Taraji seems like, I mean, she's got the looks for it. So if that's not what's working out for her in terms of getting the husband, it sounded to me like maybe she don't want one. And if she don't want one, then I guess she got to be out here fighting alone perpetually. And the last thing I want to mention in terms of why this situation is so critical to be paying attention to what's going on around you and your surroundings and how your decisions impact you going forward into the future is, again, a lot of people going off about Donald Trump and how crazy he is, but guess what? Who's supporting these illegal immigration policies is the Democrats. And guess what happens when more people inevitably enter the workforce? The Democrats, if they were to stay in power, they're never going to send these people back. That means that inevitably they're going to become citizens. Millions and millions. There's at least 8 million illegal immigrants that we know about, okay? That means that, guess what? Now you got millions of more men and women to compete with. Guarantee you some of them going to get the bright idea, hey, I could be the next big actor or actress. Now Taraji got to compete even more. It doesn't seem like a smart plan to me to invite competition in the millions illegally. Am I wrong? Let me know what you think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.